It's another video from Ozzy's Robot. Brought to you by the Banana Collection.
Ba 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 boo. Hey everyone, welcome back and come on in. It's that toy guy, you know, that does toy stuff once in a while. And today is no exception, but as always, before we get rolling, kick back in your most cozy, comfy chair. It could be a lazy boy or maybe a dining stool. Grab a steaming, delicious, sweltering, boiling cup of coffee. If it's morning, stir it, clank it, adjust it to your specifications, and grab a snack. Now focus, pay attention to the highlight of human history, Japanese tin toys from the 50s and 60s, the apex of Western culture. Now that I have your attention, what do we have here today? Well, it's the Bandai. And how did I know it's a Bandai? Well, I'll tell you how I found out, although there's a couple of other easy areas to check for it. But the Bandai Lincoln Fire Chief card. Now, I automatically assumed this was 1960, the canted lights. And Chrysler had some cool canted light convertible cars. I think it was the 300F. I almost considered bidding on one of those, but I don't know if I'm into driving archaic relics anymore, man, because the maintenance and qualified, competent people to work on them is pretty much non-existent unless you're willing to flatbed it or tow it in an enclosed trailer somewhere. So I opted to just admire it, I guess, if I go to an occasional car show. But I did look at the possibility of this being a 59, because I said, could it be a 59? And, you know, it's funny because the ginormous El Dorado was a 1960, and my gut told me this was a 60. And when I looked at the 59, it looked remarkably close, but the distinction was these bullets on the bumper, and that seemed to appear in the 1960 model. So I'm pretty confident that it's a 1960. Now, the box is as such, item number 4077. It's just an illustration, scale model automobiles of the world. And it is heavy gauge metal. I don't know about that. Now, could you imagine? I mean, these cars were expensive back then. This is when America was still the standard of the world. People, taxpayers, would have absolutely wigged out if they saw a fire chief driving in a freaking two-tone Lincoln, although it would have been cool as hell. By the way, made in Japan. Now, I personally, again, you know, if somebody has a two-door, and this is one of the rare ones where they show a two-door coupe on the box art, and it actually is a two-door coupe in the car. So here's your Bandai logo, but that's not where I saw it. I actually saw it on the car, and I'll show you where. And this one has bump and go action, a siren sound that would wake up even the most dozed off lithium moms of the 1960s you can imagine. Lithium induced. Or maybe, well, it had to be lithium, right? Because it was before Xanax. And has a warning light and two siren horns that rotate. And it uses two batteries. Kind of gives you the sketch of how it works. And here's the end panels. I don't know what was on here. Could have been a price sticker. Pretty much intact. The ends are the same. And that's it for your box. I like the illustration. You know, they could have done some burning, buildings in the background would have been nice with a 1960s background. Imagine all the cool stuff they could have put in the illustration. You know, in that, even in just the white area, you could have just done a cool scene of the fire chief rolling to the fire to pump up his firemen. Anyway, he didn't do that, but you know, like police cars, I like then what do you want to call them? Like the civil service cars, the EMS type cars. But anyway, fire, police, they're just more attractive to me than your typical model car would have been because of their colors, their adornments. Now, one thing that I noticed on this that I can't recall seeing on almost any car, this is actually like a badge and it's tabbed in. So you can see there's 4 slots there, and they had to tab in that plate, which is pretty unusual. I've never seen that on a cop car. So I think the fire chief was special. I always say the fire chiefs are a little bit better than the police cars, and they're rare too, because I think most kids like the police car. Look at that. This is, I don't know if this is tabbed in. It looks like it could be. By the way, look how cool the back is. That is so freaking cool. This is when they trimmed down the fins or started sleeking down the overall design. I have to pick it up. We'll check out the interior as best we can. Let's see, fully lithographed. Very nice interior. And not only does it have the 2 sirens up top and the siren there with the horns, it has this antenna, which if you look at the box, it's depicted. And there is a slot here, but there's nothing on here. Now, you would think, well, maybe it was supposed to be one of these spotlights, but it shows 2. And this is tabbed in with like 3 or 4 different slots. So I don't know, it could have been like 1 spotlight there. It's possible. Not definite. I'd have to find another one. Maybe I'll shake the box. Nope, nothing in there. Here's your front, what they call the canted headlights. I don't know, I gotta say, I'm not sure I was a huge fan of this canted headlight style. I like the Chrysler 300 F, maybe the G2. And it used that style, but it's rare. And I kind of like it on this car, the real one and the model. But I don't know, I kind of prefer mine horizontal. And then in here it actually says Continental, cool grille. It has the hood ornament that's a little bent, but it actually says the Lincoln hood ornament. Nice hubcaps. Tin litho, so you don't have to worry about them flaking off. And this is where I saw the first, before I saw it on the box, I saw the Bandai logo here. Kind of a longer battery box, so you have to put them in parallel. You don't put them side by side, and then a bump and go. And that's pretty much it on the car. I'm able to show you this on here because it doesn't really go very far. So let me turn it on. Prepare your ears for this deafening noise. And when you pick it up, it is a screecher. Woo! Like I said, those wine moms on Valium, they must have been like, turn that damn thing off. Anyway, by the way, I don't know if I showed it, but this is about 12 inches. So good size, not enormous. But that's a look at your Lincoln Fire Chief car by Bandai. You know what? I like this. I wish they would have used this for the character toys. There are Gigantor and Astro Boy toys that have like a fire car, but not to this degree of extra accoutrements and tabbed on plates and badges and the kind of like cool two-tone stuff. Even the hood. I mean, it's pretty well done. So anyway, let me know what you think of it. If you like it, thumb it up. Tell me if you want your very own Lincoln Fire Chief car. And if you're not a subscriber, please consider doing so. The algorithms and I would greatly appreciate you hitting the subscribe button. With that, thanks as always for your time, my friends, and I will talk to you later.